Okay, this might be the hardest part of the entire interview. What's your name? I'm Zoe Portera, as you know. Or should I say that again? I should say that again. Okay, scene. Scene. Oh. Okay, I'm Zoe Portera, and I'm 17.
Oh, hello, my darling Zoe. This is from your sweet mama. I want to record this book for you before I pass. And it's been a little harder than I thought, just because I can't breathe as well as I had expected to. I guess the cancer got into the lungs and just made this whole project a bit harder. But I'll do my best.
And at what age were you when you lost your mom?
It was a couple days after my 13th birthday. After she died, nobody really gave me the option to get anything. So when they were doing an auction, I broke in to my old home and I took her chest of jewelry and hid it for months. When I finally moved in with my grandma, she was like, I really wish you could have had your mom's jewelry. And I was like, no, I stole the entire thing. When you see in movies, everybody's reaction is they're crying and they're like, oh my God. And it commits to just movies make it seem like you're just gonna break and crumble as soon as someone dies. And I definitely handled it internally and subconsciously, because all I did was cry for 20 minutes and move on. I notice now that a lot of my opportunities were taken away. She was always pushing me to do things, go try this and go try this. And what is that thing with the rope? You in the silk class where you yeah, she signed me up for that shit, dancing, just everything. And I was like, dude, stop. I hate all of this. But then when she passed, I wasn't trying anything out really. She always forced me to continue things. So I promised I'd never quit anything again.
Do you think you saw yourself change after she passed away?
I was ready to handle things, and the small things didn't matter to me anymore. I think I changed because I was tired of being that passive person that everybody was oh, are you okay? I'm so sorry. It taught me to speak up for myself and be I guess honest and straightforward at the same time of wanting more freedom.
As a teenager, it's your job to rebel and to push boundaries, and you need to have a very safe boundary to push against.
Adolescence is a time of experimenting and experience. Not all experimenting and experience is going to be positive.
It's the parents' job to be there as a safe, secure boundary and face all the I hate you and door slamming and all of that stuff.
A parent-child relationship is unique because it's not one based just on positive input, but one based on a realistic outlook of the past and the future.
There are ways that teens look more mature when there is trauma like that. Often they have to grow up more quickly, and that's a way to cope.
Coming of age has to do with accepting and acting on responsibility. You probably have a much shorter transition into accepting and living with responsibility if you've lost someone close to you. When someone has experienced grief, they're really much more conscious about lessening their experience and making really good choices and good judgment. Adolescent boys are more risk takers, and that pretty much goes away in grief.
Young men tend to assume responsibility for the family and the surviving parent.
I woke up around 7:30, walked upstairs to my entire family in the kitchen. 10 minutes go by and my mom came in, full on tears, just can't walk. And she sat me and my sister down on her bed and she said something happened. And before she said it, I actually asked, I was like, did Dad die? And she said, yeah. Before, it was like always me and him. You know, he was like my best friend. He was always there. Once he had gone, I'm gonna do as much for myself as I can to make it easier for my mom, because, you know, that's what he would want. Like, I'm the man in the house now.
In hindsight, I can see how he felt some sort of responsibility, even though I never expected it from him, to take care of me. And what I know now is that he didn't step out of line or do age-appropriate misbehaviors, because he felt on such a deep level that he had to take care of me.
It definitely taught me how to take care of myself. It taught me how to handle situations.
Just as an 11-year-old boy, he would ask me questions like, are we going to have enough money? Am I going to get to stay in the same school? I had to remind him that I am the parent and I will take care of you.
One thing that I notice much differently now is that there's a lot more acceptance. And so it might be easier, especially for an adolescent, to grieve in today's day and age.
Being an adult in the 21st century and living through what I've been through, just simply reading, like, you guys are super strong, so happy for you, from some random person who lives on the other side of the country who knows my mom somehow, that's just enough.
Social media has an impact in some way, and I think it depends on a person's relationship with social media. It may be comforting to some and not to others. I think it's more acceptable to grieve. So in some ways, perhaps that makes it easier.
I wouldn't say her death was a good thing, but I've benefited a lot from it, and I've learned a lot from it. And it was a really hard 3 years, but I wouldn't change it.
I wear this like proudly because it makes me who I am. I'm proud of it. And I'm proud to say, yeah, my dad killed himself 6 years ago, and I'm strong as hell.